You love traditional Hawaiian food but just don't have the time to make it? Well, you're in luck, because today I've got a recipe for you that takes less than half the time, so stick around. Aloha mai kako, my name is Relle and welcome to my kitchen where I like to share all my favorite island and Hawaiian style recipes. And today we'll be making Instant Pot Squid Luau. Now, traditional squid luau is often made and served at family gatherings, baby luau's, graduation parties, but it takes a few hours to make. And as a working mom of two, I just don't have the time to do that. But call in the trusty Instant Pot. The Instant Pot is an electric pressure cooker that helps you cut down cooking time. And first, we're gonna start with the leaves for the luau. Now, luau leaves are the leaves from the taro or kalo plant, and those can be found at your local grocery store. If you live on the mainland, you might not be able to find it, but you can sub it out for collard greens or spinach if you want. The taste will be a little bit different, but it'll still work. So first, we're gonna start with the Instant Pot. We'll take off the lid and we'll set it to saute. Now, the saute mode just makes things move a little bit quicker so that it heats up. You don't have to do it, but it helps it move along quicker. And we'll add some water to the pot. Now, growing up, we were always told put baking soda in the water because it keeps the leaves green. But as a nerd, I wanted to know why. Why does the baking soda do that? So I looked it up, and what it found was that the humidity in Hawaii makes it stick to the bowl. So we'll go ahead and put the baking soda in as we get that going. So what I found was that baking soda turns the water alkaline, and the alkalinity of the water helps keep the chlorophyll in. Chlorophyll is what makes plants green, and that helps keep the color to stay in. And the downfall of that is that you lose some of the nutrients and vitamins from the leaves. So if you don't want to use the baking soda, don't worry. But another great thing that the baking soda does is it helps break down the calcium oxalate that is found in these leaves. We'll talk about that in a little bit. First, we're gonna have to start trimming the leaves. So we're gonna take off the leaf at this point here. This is called the ha, and we're gonna remove that. So all you do is after you rinsed your leaves, you'll go ahead and cut that off. And we'll set this aside. We'll use this later. What I like to do is take these leaves and put them in a pile, and I'll show you why in a little bit. And as you get a big pile going, all you'll wanna do is go ahead and stack them on each other. It'll help in the long run. So as I mentioned before, taro leaves have calcium oxalate. Calcium oxalate is a crystal that is in the leaves, and you can't eat these leaves raw. If you do, it causes a lot of itchiness. Speaking of, if you have sensitive skin, I would recommend wearing gloves while doing this. I've been doing this for a while and it doesn't really bother me, but the itch can also cause that to happen when you're not wearing gloves. All right, so now that you've got all the leaves trimmed, we'll go ahead and make one big pile, and I'll show you a quick, easy way to trim it up and slice it so it fits nicely into the Instant Pot. So like I mentioned, you'll stack them all on top of each other like this. It doesn't have to be nice. They don't have to all be facing the same way, but it just helps when it comes to cutting. So once you have your stack like this, what I like to do is roll them up. So with the leaves going this way, you're gonna roll it in the same direction. You can toss that one back into, and you'll have one big log like this. Now what you're gonna do is cut the leaves this way so that you have thin strips. This will help break it down quicker and have it so that it'll fit into the Instant Pot nicely. So once you're done with all of these leaves, you'll go ahead and put it into the Instant Pot. And then I kind of like to just smush it down as best I can so that it sits in the water. The water doesn't have to completely cover the leaves because they will shrink down and the water will rise a little. After the leaves are placed into the pot, then we can use the ha. We don't want to put anything to waste, so these stems, they can be eaten too. The skin on the outside is kind of rough and fibrous, so we like to remove those. So all you have to do is take your knife and you're going to make a small slit and you're going to peel off that excess. So you're going to do that for all of these. And then when you're done, you'll just slice them in thirds or in halves. So you get 2-inch, 3-inch piece like this, and then all of these will get placed into the Instant Pot as well. And then once you have a few pieces, you can just trim them up, and all of these will be added to the Instant Pot as well. And then you'll want to put the lid on and set the knob to sealing. And then you're gonna cook at manual high pressure for 25 minutes and natural pressure release for 10. Now, while the leaves are finishing cooking up, we'll prepare the taco. Growing up as a kid, my dad was an avid fisherman and ocean goer, so we would go down to the beach and get our own taco. But don't worry, you can find sliced taco like this in the freezer section at a lot of grocery stores. And like I mentioned before, if you can't find taco, which is octopus, you can totally use squid as well. These pieces are kind of big and they've already been boiled down, so they're almost to the consistency you want. We'll just cook it for a little bit. If the pieces are too big for you, then what we can do is cut them down. So all you really need to do is get a bunch of them and you can kind of just run your knife through them just to kind of make rough slices like this. It is a little bit rubbery, so be careful when you cut them. And then they're more in like bite-sized pieces like this. Now that you have all your taco cut up, you can set it into the Instant Pot. And you're gonna wanna mix it around to get the taco down into some of that liquid as well. See how the leaves kept the green color? That's from the baking soda. And now that we've mixed everything up, we'll toss the butter in and then we'll put the lid on and get it cooking. You can stir it up a little to get the butter just to be incorporated slightly. It'll melt through. And that's it, that's all you need. So we'll let out the pressure, be careful, the steam will rise out. And once the pin drops, then it's safe to open. Be careful, it is still hot in there, so I always turn it away from you. And this little knob here, you can set it up here and it'll hold your lid. What we wanna do is drain out this extra liquid. So I'll get some pot holders, we'll drain it out and I'll be right back. And now that we've drained out that extra liquid, we'll put it back in. I'll take the lid off just so that you can see. And what you'll wanna do is set that to saute mode. So you'll hit keep warm, cancel, that'll stop the cooking process, and then you hit saute. And then what we're gonna do is add the last few of our ingredients. So Hawaiian salt, coconut milk. Now, this is unsweetened coconut milk, but I like mine a little bit sweeter, so I do add some sugar. If you buy sweetened coconut milk, you can leave out the sugar at this part. And depending how sweet you like it, you can adjust the sugar as needed. And then we're just gonna mix it up and heat it through. It'll take about 5 minutes to simmer all the way through and be ready to eat. And it's almost there. You'll know it's done when the coconut milk starts to melt into the luau leaves. Savory with a touch of sweet, vibrant green, luau leaves and tender tacos simmered in coconut milk come together to make this delicious traditional Hawaiian delicacy.